All right, James, the Idol Smasher at Yahoo.com. Good morning, and thank you for tuning in. Um, just something that hit me, and I had to share it real quick. I had to get this down. Uh, if you know anything about a lot of where this channel started from, I have a big love of uh, what would be described by Chogyam Trungpa as the sacred path of the warrior. I've always had an affinity for the martial arts. I'm not talking this MMA crap on the TV tube. I'm talking about the art. Um, and I say art with precision because that's exactly what it is. It's not sport. Sport is sport. The martial arts are not sport. You can sport anything, you know. And when I embraced this at a point where I was really way out there, man. I mean, I was a rather wild person at one time, and perhaps I still am. And I lost a marriage over it, in partially. But I know where I went wrong. And I clung to the sacred path of the warrior. It really kept me centered. And I've never found a discrepancy between what I learned in Judaism, what I learned in Torah as a Noahide, and the Shambhala philosophy. And it just hit me. Possibly, I think they just met. Something just clicked. I'm not really part of the tribe, right? Okay, I'm not a national. I kind of keep to myself on the outskirts, but I really like learning about this Torah thing, okay? I eat my pork. I enjoy my bourbon here and there, you know. I'll pick a guitar 7 days a week. I'm just not that in that, but I'm somewhere near it. But I think as a Noahide, you know, we're beginning to learn the roots of what it is to be Hebrew, or where the Hebrew comes from in humanity, in the collective consciousness, if not who they are, what it is in this week's Parsha, or the past couple Parshas actually, really, but essentially. So, and this is not where I necessarily depart from in the storyline, but the focus, it gets a bit more focused from here on out. We've learned the origins of who we are and why we are in Torah, and we're still learning that, but really we're kind of this is where we begin to look to the Exodus. So I think I've met up with Israel somewhere between Sinai and the River Jordan, and it just hit me that, you know, I would be wandering, floating around, walking around in circles, you know, for 40 years. Just kind of, you know, and I know that one of the basic teachings of that is, well, there had to be a generation born that did not know slavery, and that would be ready to enter into the promised land. And we all hear about the promised land, and we're going to wash our sins away in the River Jordan, as you've heard that stuff, a common vernacular of the Western culture and how we view that. But he was setting them up to be warriors. That was the point of the whole thing. I mean, he took the runts, he took the lowest of the nations, and bred them into a nation of warriors. Now, I know what flashes to your mind when you hear the word warrior. You're thinking bloodshed and chunks of people blown off. But warriorship is far more than the ability to take a life, or obey orders, or stand for a flag. The warriorship, a true warriorship, stems from must stem from a genuine heart of sadness for oneself first, a genuine heart of sadness for the self. It has to come from fearlessness, not courage, but fearlessness, awareness, gentleness, and loving kindness. The warrior's heart is soft, which is why it beats so strongly. The warrior will stand his ground, but would gladly share his space. Warriors build great palaces and sow the fields and beautify the land. The coward lives in a cave. The coward hides from the light. The coward eats his own kind. The warrior basks in the light that is within all human beings. That's the whole point of the Shambhala principle. Is how does your light shine in the halls of Shambhala? It's because it's a palace that's lit by the goodness of humanity, and it all shines. It's an archetype. It's a story. It's a neat story. It's a great story. It's a great story. The light of humanity shines in these crystal halls. These crystal palaces glow with the goodness of mankind, and truly, I'm not knocking the Israeli army by any means, but I also want to point out that these were the lowest of the nations. These weren't the Brawnies. These weren't the Goliaths. Not saying that you can't have a big, strong, handsome Hebrew soldier. I am saying that they're Bible nerds. Essentially, they're to be a nation of priests. And then when I look to the east, the Shaolim would be an archetype we could look at. Or very, very, very quiet, very humble, very loving, very giving. But if he was forced to, he could remove your head from your neck. If he was forced to do that. And even then, 9 out of 10 times they probably wouldn't. I mean, these people would light themselves on fire over there in the east, as a protest. And I still don't know if that beats war. I don't know if that really works. But anyway, yeah, a little something I thought I'd share with you here this afternoon. I had to sit down real quick, but the way of the warrior, perhaps there is a really, really, really good reason I was taken down that path or exposed to it, or why I can't get rid of it. You see that little flag at the end of my videos, and it's on my channel. That yellow circle represents the Great Eastern Sun. It was a badge that I earned. The Noahide Code aside that, but I always carry this principle of warriorship with me. I don't know if it makes me a better man. I think it does. I think it helps. I hope it helps. And it might help you too. Anyway, Shambhala, Sacred Path of the Warrior is the book, and it's just a book. There are many other books by the author, but it's very secular. So first, if you're a religious person of any kind, this in no way, okay. It's no different than reading the Tao Te Ching. It just can't conflict with you, really. And that is all I have to say about that. James the Idol Smasher at yahoo.com is my email address. Please feel free to leave a question, comment, compliment, complaint. No, I don't want to complain. Let's not complain anymore. Suggestion, please feel free. Hit that subscribe button. And this is American Noahide Raw. Peace.